Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. So I spent about an hour to 2 hours on all of the month reports for my clients. For this example, this is a local SEO report for one of my law firms that I work on their SEO strategy for. So I've redacted their name. I've also redacted some of the slides that I typically provide. But in this video, I'm going to walk you through pretending you're the client and kind of what I go over to give you an idea of what a month report looks like for me. All right, so to start, Google Maps profile, so Google Business Profile, we were up for phone calls, but only marginally, 10%, 10 versus 9. I know phone calls is not the biggest metric, but they're still going to report on that. Direction click requests were up 124% year over year. That's great to see. Now, this is interesting. Direct website clicks to your profile were down 60%, 10 versus 25, but later on in this presentation, you're going to see that overall organic traffic was up to your website from all the new landing pages that we've been creating that actually made up the difference from a year over year and also month over month difference. And then profile views. So this is the main takeaway. We got very aggressive on your Google Business Profile, and it shows views went from we averaged around 287 from January through June of 2026, and then July we had 1,121. We got very aggressive on those secondary categories, terms like car accident attorney, lawyer, and then we kept niching down after that. So we got very aggressive with different keywords, and that made up the difference for more views for your profile. Next, Bing Maps and Apple Maps. Nothing really to report on here. I will say, though, an opportunity is for us to create that business page on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, and therefore they embed the Bing Map directly onto that profile. It's a slight ranking factor. I think it'll be worth it for us to drive more impressions from that. Website and intaker. So there were two trackable leads that came through, both on 7.8 and 7.17. They came from organic search, which is great. And then through the website, there was 3 qualified leads that took place. And as you know, one of them turned into a very strong closing for you. So we're really excited about that. Obviously, that is phenomenal to see. And then organic traffic, as I mentioned, was up year over year, 10%, but more importantly, month over month, did improve 41% for your site. Okay, so potential plans for August. So I mentioned this to you and also my other clients. Getting a second location could be advantageous. So, the heat maps that I do, I have about a 3-mile, 15 by 15 scan. We're not really ranking that well past, I would say, 4 miles. So maybe getting a second location in the areas that we're missing out could be an opportunity to get more qualified leads for your business and a way really to carve out that niche that we're not currently getting. Next, so based on your Google Business Profile, I saw several new type of keywords that we can go after, things like jet ski, accident attorney, golf cart accident attorney, anything else like that. This is great because we didn't see this data before. We saw it in July. We're barely ranking for this actually from a share of local voice perspective. So I recommend we create new landing pages. We can use ClearScope and Claude and ChatGPT to get the baseline. And then obviously you will review it and edit it from there. Once it's good, let me know, send it over, and I can upload that. Finally, I recommend this, the PPC data. So the cost per click is pretty expensive on Google for terms like personal injury or lawyer. It's about $100 to $250 per click. I want to obviously get more search data to work with, just like how we got it with Google Business Profile. If we can't use Google because the cost per click is too high, Bing's data is about half as much according to their preview tool. So I recommend maybe if we have a limited budget to work with, perhaps we should run Microsoft Bing ads, get more search party data from that, funnel that back into the SEO strategy. But of course, if we're able to convert or get a client as well from Bing ads, that'd be great as well. But maybe we consider that. Okay, so as another reminder, what I'm noticing more is that in the AI overview on mobile, Google is removing the 3-pack, the share of local voice, at times. So here's an example where there's only 2. You can see there's 2 different listings over here, and they don't have the traditional 3-map pack that we're accustomed to. So I am seeing more AI overviews. One thing we should also talk about is potentially tracking AI. If you want to kind of see the visibility of that, it would be more city-specific searches and seeing how often we're featured there, especially on Google AI Overview. But this is becoming more of a thing that I'm coming across as I'm looking at your profile. All right, here's the snapshot of your share of local voice. So every term has moved up. Personal injury attorney has improved, even though it's in red as 8.26. Is actually everything else has just grown so much that was in red. But we went from starting at 11.85% to 12%, 10.67, 8, and then 16.26. You can see everything else, though, has been improving for us from a share of local voice perspective. That's what led to the 1,000 plus more views that your profile has. All these keywords in the 3 mile radius, 15 by 15 grid are all improving. Here's a few of the share of local voice growth that we're seeing. So car accident lawyer, you can see we were steady under 10% from starting from March all the way. And then that's when it took off in August, was when under 10%, now above 20. Another keyword, car accident lawyer near me, same story, below 10%, starting in March. July was when it started to have that steady climb. We actually peaked over 30%. Now we've been hovering between 20 and 30% in the last few scans that I've done. Another keyword, personal injury lawyer near me. That's what I mentioned on Google. Could expect about $100 to $250 for this click alone. So we've improved from 10%. And now we're in the mid 20% range for this keyword. And then finally, very specific personal injury, Mount Pleasant. So the reason why this doesn't drive a lot of volume, but I chose this keyword because this actually helps with near me and also related other queries. We started basically at 0% in April, and now we're at over 50% for my last scan that I did, which was at the end of July. So that's great to see. Okay. Google My Business performance. So again, phone calls is not the biggest metric we have. We were up, but only slightly. So I'm looking at the top left. Top right, website clicks were down, which was surprising because overall organic traffic was up to your website. Bottom left, direction requests were up month over month, but the big change though that took place for your profile, you could see July, 1,121 people viewed your business profile compared to obviously the average that we had from January through June was always around that 200 to 300 mark. Very strong. I'm expecting that August, September, and pretty much the rest of the year, we're going to always be around that 1,000 mark. That should lead to more organic traffic and, of course, a few more leads for your business, as long as rankings stay the same, of course. Website traffic was up for the first time, 10%. So again, I have the aggregate view of how you've been for all year. Again, organic traffic is just one of the metrics we're looking at. And then here are the keywords. So doing the same type of share of local voice, but filtering out the Google Map Pack rank, only looking at the website. Basically, I've seen improvements across the board for a lot of our core terms. We still have a lot of work to do for terms like truck accident lawyer, car accident lawyer. There's a lot of keywords we had to continue, to use ChatGPT and Claude to get more ideas of what we can potentially do to the content. There's some internal linking opportunities we can do as well to try to really solidify our rank position. But overall, the main summary, that'll go back to the very top over here. Actually, I'll go right over here. As people viewed your business profile, grew massively for your account, and that's actually what's leading to more, as I said, impressions for your business, and also helped generate a few leads. Okay, so if you got this far into the video, congrats. Again, this is a redacted report. There's a lot of things that we're actually missing from this. But my main takeaway is when you get a report from me, there's a little bit of storytelling that goes involved. There's less about the PDF report from SEMrush or using Claude or ChatGPT to come up with a few sentences. I really want to know the business for all of my accounts that I work on. I want to know exactly their conversions, the numbers that they get, especially the cost per click would be if we're running Google ads, and really try to explain what I want to do next to keep growing their account to get more leads for their business. So, I hope this video might have been, interesting for you guys to kind of listen to, and maybe it might, you can compare it then to your report you're getting, or if you're an SEO professional, maybe you can look at it and say, what can you potentially add to your own reports to make it more insightful? I will say not all my clients read these reports start to finish, but it's very helpful though that there is a summary that I can also go back to at any point throughout the month and say, kind of what did I highlight? Maybe what did we overlook? What can we do to really improve, get more leads for my clients? So, ultimately they stay happy, they continue to pay me. And also, potentially they could even refer me as well to some of their friends and colleagues as well, mainly because the results will speak for themselves. And the person behind that is from Team Blast. It is me. I'm the one that's working on the account. And I want to make sure I know your numbers, sometimes even more than you. Just when we're talking, I can answer any question you have about the strategy, the numbers, what I'm seeing from the competition, and more importantly, what I see next for your business. Anyway, that's the video. I'm going to record another one for another client. Hopefully you can watch that too. So stay tuned and have a good rest of your day.